On behalf of Kinsey Tech, welcome again as we take our journey into the world of Power BI, Tableau, and what's known as business intelligence, data analyst. And we hear all those words. When I'm applying for a job that wants Tableau or a Power BI person, administrator, developer, we get all those different terminologies: business analyst, data analyst, business intelligence, and so on and so forth. So what does all of this mean? Basically, in every industry, you have a lot of data. Let's say I'm a car dealership. In my car dealership, for instance, a lot of car dealerships, because of COVID and supply chain issues, if you go and order a new car, you have to wait 3 months or 6 months before you get it. Reason being is every month I sell 100 cars. And usually it takes me 60 days to get a car from Japan or Korea or whatever. So I ran out of cars today. I need to order cars, so I have to wait 2 months until I get them and arrange them and get them ready to sell. So I'm already 60 days behind. But what you have is data. You can look in historical data, run reports and say, well, I can see that every month you sell 100 cars. In the next 6 months, you're likely to sell 600 cars. Why don't you go ahead and order it? So there's a lot of data. And then there's what we call actionable data, data that allows me to make a decision, to take an action that's healthy for my industry, for my business in this case. So data analyst is when you look at that data and you come up with something that could help me, in a case of a business, either grow my business or lower my expenses and cost and losses. And that's why we call them business analysts. They analyze that business. In other cases, there's cybersecurity where they have certain IP addresses that are coming, a lot of attacks coming from a certain IP address or from a certain area, or login attempts that are failing at a certain area. So they have a lot of data. What we do is we look at that data and present it in a way we're not just putting a spreadsheet with millions of records. That's not a report or a dashboard, technically speaking. It's when I put it in an actionable form and say, well, it seems like this is the area, or those are the range of IP addresses where you're having most of your attacks. So basically, I'm looking at a lot of data and I'm forming it and reforming it and putting it into this beautiful graphical interface. Why? So you can make an actionable decision that's beneficial for you. So that's why we call it data analyst. If it's a business analyst. If you're trying to look at forecasts and reports and dashboards for the future, it's business intelligence. At the end of the day, if I learn things like Power BI and Tableau, I'm able to help whatever industry it is. It could be a medical field where they're looking at certain numbers and number of patients that we have and a certain disease that's growing, for example, in areas of public health, and what's the age range, what's the gender, what's the race or ethnicities that's affected the most. I mean, whatever it is, you're the person, you're the genius that through Tableau and Power BI and such tools are able to come up with intelligence, data analysis, business intelligence, actionable data. Let's take a simple example. Just going to share my screen. This is just a fun example of how one report could help us so much. So one of my favorite restaurants is a restaurant called Olive Garden. And since I live in Boca Raton, Florida, we're going to type in Boca Raton, Florida. Suppose I bought this restaurant. As much as I eat there, I probably should buy it. Okay, this is Olive Garden, Boca Raton. And you created this simple report for me. You created this simple report for me. This is on a Saturday. This is how the traffic is. So this is 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1, 2, 3 p.m., 4, 5, 6 p.m., 7, 8, 9 p.m., 10 o'clock. And let's just have fun. So we're just going to talk general numbers. Nothing too scientific, nothing too technical, just fun numbers. We're just trying to prove a concept. So I have 40 employees. And we're open, as we can see, about 11 hours. And I pay them $30 an hour. So my payroll every single day, let's multiply the 30 by the 40. So it's $1,200 per hour. Okay, that's how much I pay every single hour. But when you created this report, you proved to me something. You proved to me that, yes, at 7 p.m., oh, you have max. You need all 40 employees. But guess what? At 11 a.m., it's even less than half. You don't need even less than half of that. So you say instead of 40 employees, put 10 employees. Okay, well, put 10 employees for that 1 hour. At 11 hours, I'm paying 110 hours. You just saved me over $1,000 in 1 hour. Just in 1 hour, you saved me $1,000. Again, towards the end of the day, again, you're saying at 10 p.m., you don't need all 40, 10 or 11, 12 will do. You save me another $1,000 in just 2 hours of the day without even looking at the rest of the hours. So in just a couple of hours, you save me over $2,000. So that's actionable data. That's data that I can use to make a decision where I'm going to save money or be more profitable or see what I can do. Let's take another example of actionable data. Your report in your dashboard shows that typically a customer spends between 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So an average about an hour and 15 minutes. So over an hour. So this is not a case of a fast food restaurant. This is a case where my customers are going to spend more than an hour. So does that mean if you come in, I'm just going to say, hey, what's your order? I'll take your order and get you your food. No, you're sitting there for over an hour. So first I'm going to start by asking you, what would you like for drink? And here's our drink specials. And probably make an extra $20 from you and your friends that are sitting there and chit-chatting and talking. Next, am I going to ask you for your order? No, you're going to sit there an average of an hour. That's what the report shows. So I'm going to take some time and ask you for, hey, what do you want for appetizers? And appetizers, you're going to spend another, let's just throw in a simple number of $20. Then you order your food and you pay what you're originally going to pay. But then at the end, so you're sitting there for another hour, 15 minutes average, which means I'm going to ask you if you like dessert, and I'm going to make you spend another $20. So I just made you spend an extra $60 based on the report or the dashboard that said, oh, your customers spend an average of an hour and 15 minutes. So that's what we mean by actionable data. There's a lot of data. We bring it together and create reports and dashboards. So a report is not just like a spreadsheet where you just put all the records. I have 1 million customers. I'm just going to put the name of the million. No, you're going to put it in a way that's going to allow the business to make a decision that's going to save them money, make them more money. Maybe it's a nonprofit and where they can find their donors and where they can find where their grants are coming from. Maybe it's a medical field and it's following patients and their records and when the next checkup should be and what they should do. Maybe it's a car dealership. Maybe it's a government agency that's trying to see how they can best serve, the people that they serve, whatever that department is. So that's why sometimes we'll call it data analyst, sometimes we'll call it business analyst, sometimes we'll call it business intelligence. At the end of the day, there's data, and our job is to create reports and dashboards and summarize it and group it and filter it and present it in a way that allows for actionable data that's going to allow that agency, that government agency, that nonprofit organization, that business to better serve their board, their customers, their patients, whoever they're trying to support. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. And we hope with this little introduction, we understand the value of why reports and dashboards are very powerful.